There's a moment many of my patients describe to me. You wake up in the middle of the night. You look at the clock. It's 2:47 a.m. You turn over, you adjust the pillow, you wait. And somehow, sleep doesn't come back. Now at first you tell yourself, this is normal. I'm just getting older. But then it happens again. And again. Until nights become something you endure rather than enjoy. And here's the uncomfortable truth. This is not something you should simply accept. I've been practicing medicine for over 4 decades now, and I've seen this pattern in thousands of people past the age of 50. Sleep changes, yes, but persistent poor sleep usually has reasons behind it. Reasons we often overlook. Before we go any further, I want to say this clearly. What I'm sharing here comes from my experience as a physician. It is not personal medical advice. Your situation is unique, and you should always discuss concerns with your own healthcare professional. Now, if you find this kind of explanation helpful, you may consider subscribing. Not for me, but so you don't miss information that might quietly improve your daily life. Let me explain something important. Many people believe poor sleep after 50 is just a natural decline, but in reality, what I often see is not aging itself, but a combination of small, silent disruptions. And when these stack up, sleep begins to fall apart. So let's go through them carefully. The first factor is something we rarely think about: your internal clock. As we age, our circadian rhythm shifts. You may feel sleepy earlier in the evening and wake earlier in the morning. But here's where the mistake happens. People resist this shift. They stay up later than their body wants, often with television or phones. And this is where things begin to fracture, because now your body is confused. You're tired, but not aligned with your natural rhythm anymore. Second, nighttime awakenings become more frequent. Now, waking once during the night is not unusual. But if it becomes 2, 3, even 4 times, something deeper is going on. For many, it's linked to bladder changes. For others, it's light sleep stages becoming more dominant. And sometimes, it's medications quietly interfering. And this is where most people make a mistake. They treat the symptom, not the cause. Third, let's talk about stress. Not the loud kind, not the dramatic kind, but the quiet, persistent mental load. Concerns about health, finances, family. These don't always show up during the day. They wait until the night is silent, and then suddenly your mind becomes active. Not chaotic, but restless, enough to keep you awake. Fourth, something I've seen increasingly over the years: reduced physical activity. Now I understand. Joints may ache, energy may feel lower, but the body still needs movement to regulate sleep. Without enough physical demand during the day, your body simply doesn't build enough sleep pressure at night. So you lie in bed, tired, but not ready for deep rest. Fifth, light exposure. This one is subtle but powerful. Our bodies rely on light to regulate sleep hormones. Morning light helps set your rhythm. Evening darkness helps your brain release melatonin. But modern life disrupts this. Artificial light, screens, late night brightness, and gradually, your body loses its sense of timing. Sixth, medications. Now, this is something many people don't suspect. Certain blood pressure medications, antidepressants, even some pain medications, can interfere with sleep architecture, not necessarily preventing sleep, but reducing its quality. And here's the difficult part. You may not even realize it's happening. Seventh, underlying health conditions. Sleep apnea, reflux, joint pain. These don't always wake you fully, but they disturb your sleep cycles just enough that you wake feeling unrefreshed. And over time, this becomes your normal. Now, let's pause for a moment. Because what you're seeing here is not one single cause. It's a pattern. Small disruptions, layered together, each one manageable, but combined, they quietly erode your sleep. There are also deeper factors we should acknowledge. Loneliness, loss of routine after retirement, reduced sense of purpose. These don't show up in blood tests, but they influence sleep more than many realize. I've had patients whose sleep improved, not with medication, but with structure, social connection, and daily meaning. So what can you do about all this? Let me give you a simple framework. First, respect your natural rhythm. If you feel sleepy earlier, go to bed earlier. Don't fight your body unnecessarily. Second, protect your sleep environment. Dim the lights in the evening. Reduce screen exposure at least an hour before bed. Third, move your body during the day. It doesn't have to be intense. A walk, light strength exercises. Consistency matters more than intensity. Fourth, review your medications. Not on your own, but with your doctor. Sometimes small adjustments make a large difference. Fifth, address underlying conditions. If you snore heavily, wake gasping, or feel exhausted during the day, these are signals worth investigating. And finally, create a sense of closure to your day. A simple routine, reading, quiet reflection, something that tells your mind the day is complete. Now, I want to leave you with this thought. Poor sleep after 50 is common, but it is not something you have to passively accept. In many cases, it's your body asking for small adjustments, not drastic changes, but thoughtful ones. And when you begin to listen carefully, sleep often begins to return, slowly but reliably. If this helped you understand your situation a bit more clearly, you may consider subscribing for future discussions like this. Not because you need more information, but because sometimes the right insight at the right time can make all the difference.